Thebe, beautiful Asian land, I came from you so long ago, wearing bridal robes rich with gold to Priam's royal hearth. I, Andromache, wife of Hector, envied in times past, am now the most unblessed of women, now or evermore. I saw my husband Hector slain by Achilles, my child Astyanax, who I bore for my lord, thrown down from a high tower on the day the Hellenes won the plains of Troy. A slave now, though once accounted a child of a free house, none freer. I came to Hellas as spear prize, chosen among Troy's spoils for the island prince Neoptolemus. Here on the boundaries between Pharsalia town and the plain of Phthia is where I live now, where the sea nymph Thetis lived with Peleus, aloof from mankind. And so, because of her marriage, the Salians call it Thetidion. Here lives Achilles' son, and leaves Peleus still king of Pharsalia, unwilling to grasp his scepter while the old man lives. I bore a man-child in this house, molded from Achilles' son, my master. And though I was sunk in misery, I was still consoled by my son's preservation, and found strength to shield myself from evils pressing in. But since my lord married that Laconian woman Hermione and thrust aside my slave's couch, she persecutes me with cruel wrongs, saying that I use secret charms to make her barren, hated by her lord, and that in her place I would be lady of the house and cast her out, the lawful wife, by force. This was a prize I never wanted, and now I've left it behind. Great Zeus, witness that I did not freely take up this bed. Still, she does not believe, and seeks my death. And her father Menelaus helps her. Now he has come from Sparta and dwells within for this purpose. So in fear I have fled to this temple of Thetis, next to the house, and crouch here to be saved from death. For Peleus and his children hold this place holy, the witness to the wedding of Nereus' child. But secretly I send him, my only son, to another house, in fear that he too will be slain, for his father is not here to help him. He has gone to the land of Delphi to atone to Loxias Apollo for that time of madness when he went to Pytho to claim redress from Phoebus for his murdered father, as if prayer for the sins of the past might win the gods' goodwill for the days to come.
Andromache's handmaid enters.
Mistress, I don't avoid calling you by the name which I knew as your right in the old house when we lived in Troy. I love you as I loved your living lord, and now I have come with new word in terror that our masters might hear, and in pity, for terrible plots are being hatched of Menelaus and his son. Beware,
fellow slave, for you are a slave. Tell one who was once a queen and is now a misery, what are they up to? What cunning web do they weave to slay me, the most wretched?
Wretched one, it is your son they wish to slay, whom you took in secret from this house.
Good God! Does she know that I hid my child? How? With sadness I am destroyed.
I don't know, but I heard them say this: Menelaus has left the house in search of him.
All is lost. Lost. Son, these two vultures will clutch and slay you. The man they call your father is by chance in Delphi, and there he remains.
I think you would not be so bad off if you were here, but now you're without friends.
Is there no word of Peleus coming?
Even if he were here, he is too old to help you.
But I called for him more than once or twice.
Do you think the palace messengers heed you?
How should they? Will you be my messenger?
But how can my long absence be explained?
You will find many ways to plea. You're a woman, after all.
It's dangerous. Hermione keeps a watchful eye out.
What? Sadly, you renounce your friends.
No, no, don't reproach me that way. Look, I will go. I've seen life from all sides, but as a slave-born woman, I've been luckless.
The handmaid exits.
Go, and to the immortals I will press my case of lamentations, moans, and tears in which I am engulfed. It is within the heart of a woman now with terrible pleasure to speak her present ills. I have not one but many to bemoan, the city of my fathers, Hector murdered, the demons to whom I am yoked, who undeservedly chanced upon the day of my slavery. Call no mortal blessed until one has seen their dying day, seen how they passed beyond and came to death. The Helen with whom Paris hastened to Ilium was no bride. He brought a curse to his marriage arbor. O Troy, for her sake the 1,000 galleys were laid waste. With her bloodlust you were destroyed by fire and sword. You and my lord Hector, who the son of Thetis, the sea king's daughter, for my sorrow dragged his lifeless body around the ramparts of Troy. And I was called from my gardens to the shore from which I began my exile. There they cast the loathful veil of captivity over my head, but my tears were streaming down. When the swift galley bore me far from home, from my arbors, from my lord in his grave, what worth is there in gazing on the light when I'm Hermione's slave, always hunted and harassed? I cling in supplication to the goddess's feet, melting away in tears, like water gushing from a rock-cleft cavern.
The chorus enters.
O Lady, crouching in supplication at Theus' temple, I am Pythian born, but come to you, Asian born, to see if I can find for you some help out of the snare Hermione has set for you, or a forgiveness for the hateful quarrel born about the marriage bed, which you two share, and being double wed, are encompassed by the son of Achilles.
Know yourself. Think of the hardships which come to you lately. You are your queen's rival. Should a woman of Troy rival a lady Laconian born? Leave this temple rich with burnt sacrifice to the sea goddess. What good is wearing down your beauty in tears and wailing, in terror brought upon you by your lord's hand oppressing the strength of the strong is overbearing. Your struggling won't help you. You are nothing.
Leave this temple of the daughter of Nereus, See how you must abide in a land of strangers, in a foreign city, where no friend is at your side, where you are swept up in calamity, O unhappy bride.
I pitied you, Trojan woman, on the day that you came here, but my master would be stern, so I held my peace in fear. Silent was my compassion for the ill fate that you've met. From Zeus's daughter's daughter shall my secret thoughts be kept.
Hermione enters.
With golden diadem upon my head, and wearing the splendor of richly embroidered robes, I come to you. These are no gifts from the house of Achilles or Peleus, no, but from the good earth of Laconia, capitaled by Sparta. My father, Menelaus, gave this rich dowry, and so I need not remain silent. Maidens, this is my answer to you. But you, slave woman, won by the spear, you would cast me out and have this home for your own, and through your spells make me hated by my husband. I am barren, you've ruined me, for cunning is the soul of Asia's daughters. But I will put an end to this. This temple of the Nereid will be of no help, neither altar nor nave, for you will die. But if God or man grants you succor, for your arrogance you will crouch down in fear, and grovel at my feet, and sweep my house, and sprinkle the water of Achelous from this golden jug with your hands, and know your place. Hector is not here, nor Priam, nor his gold. This is a Greek town. In such ignorance you came here, wretch, and dared to lie with the son of the man that killed your lord, and bore sons to this son. Such is the way of their whole barbarian race. Father with daughter, sons wed mothers, sister with brother. Closest kin are intermixed. For such bonds as this are not barred by their laws. Do not bring such things among us. We find it shameful that one man lords over two wives, but instead look to one wedded loveliness as contentment for those who seek peace at home.
A woman's heart is born to jealousy, none more so than marriage rivals.
Alas, alas. Youth is a curse to mortals, when with youth a person has no righteousness within. I fear that in my slavery you may bar my defense, though I have many righteous pleas, and turn my victories into failure. The arrogant shall not be defeated by the arguments of the lowly, and I will not abandon my cause. Now then, my young hothead, what strength of word have I to force you from your lawful marriage rites? Sparta, is she less worthy than the Phrygian towns? Has my fortune risen? Do you see me free? Or with my young, rounded body, my city's greatness, my glorious friends, high and mighty, that I will take you from your home? Which of us shall bear sons into slavery, a wretched burden on my life? Truly, though you bear no children, would anyone stand by while mine become lords of Phthia? Oh, the Greeks love me for Hector's sake, but now my life is in darkness. Was I never queen in Phrygia? No magic potion of mine made your lord hate you. Merely your nature is no match for his. The love charms this. It's not beauty that bewitches the grue, but grace. Let nothing trouble you. Then what a mighty city this Laconian town would be, and Skyros nothing. You flaunt your wealth. You hold Menelaus higher than Achilles, and therefore your lord hates you. Even the wife of a low-born husband must be content and not filled with hostile arrogance. But if in Thrace, with snow-fed cataracts, you had a king for a husband, in that land where one man keeps many wives, would you have killed them also? Yes, and therefore brand all women with the slur of lust for our shame. Yes, our hearts fall lovesick more than men's, but honor controls desire. Oh, dear Hector, I would take to my heart even your lover if some lovely thing tripped you up. Often I suckled your sons from other women so that I would give you no offense. And in so doing I bound you with the cords of wifely love. But you, girl, in your jealous fear forbid even the evening dew from falling on your lord. Don't try to surpass your mother's ravenous desire. Sensible daughters should avoid vile mother's paths.
Queen, if you can set yourself to such a leap of faith, please make an end to this war of words.
Such exalted words you all have come up with, as though you were sensible, but not I.
Without sense, most assuredly judging from your words.
I hope that never within me lies your kind of sensibility.
Such a young wife for such immodest words.
Words? Your immodest deeds are deeds, done to the utmost of your powers.
Can't your pained loveliness keep quiet?
Why? Has this not been the way of women from the start?
There as here, shame comes to shameful things.
Shrewd, shrewd you are, but you will surely die.
Do you not see the eye of Thetis upon you?
In hate of your land for the blood of Achilles.
Helen was his killer, not me. She was your mother, not mine.
Now you cut me deeper still.
I will be silent and close my mouth.
Confess your witchcraft. This is what I came to hear.
I say, you have less brains than you need.
Will you leave this sacred temple of the goddess of the sea?
If I will not die, or else I will never leave.
So be it. I will not wait for my lord's return.
But until then I will not yield to you.
I will bring fire and ignore your pleas.
Burn me to ashes. The gods will pay attention to this.
And to your flesh, trauma and pain.
The slit throat, her blood-red altar. The goddess will be let loose upon you.
You barbarian animal! You stubborn, impudent thing! Do you invite death? In short order, I'll make you rise from this place of your own free will. Therefore I have this bait for you. But I will hide the name of it, for the deed will soon become a signal. Now sit still, even if bonds made from molten lead held you down. Still I would make you rise up before the son of Achilles in whom you trust.
Hermione exits.
Trust. Strange that God has given us cures for the venom of all creeping pests, but no cure for a venomous woman, worse than fire or snake. So great is the swarm of ills we are to mankind.
great herald of grief, Zeus and Maia's child. 3 goddesses you led to Ida's wooded wild, like a splendidly yoked horse team whose beautiful quivering plumage gleamed lovely, yet hateful. The beautiful herd is brought to the fold, the lonely young herdsman brings them, grateful to the hearth of his cottage in the mountains alone. At the deep shaded glen, with spring waters flowing, they bathed in its stream, their young bodies glowing, then made their way on to King Priam's son, seeing who could outdo the others, whose words of surpassing conceit had won. Treachery was the promise of beauty, though she spoke winning words to the boy, but bitter confusion to Phrygia, and wretchedness to the city of Troy. If only his mother had split open his head, lest Ida's high village was where he made his bed, when Cassandra cried out with the laurel bough of prophecy, "Kill the infant, or he will bring ruin to great Priam's city." She begged the prince, begged the elders before it's too late, to kill it, that child who sealed their fate.
Then no daughter of Ilium's hill would be under the yoke of slavery, and you, O queen, would be enthroned in a palace still. No 10 years of agony, young spearmen wandering around Troy in tragedy. The bride's bed would not be empty. Old men's familial wishes they would fulfill.
Menelaus enters with attendants, carrying Andromache's child as hostage.
I have brought your son, who you hid in a neighbor's house in secret from my daughter. So it was you that this goddess's image was to save, you and those that hid you. But now we know that you, woman, are less keen of wit than Menelaus. Leave now, or your son will be slaughtered, him in place of your life. Consider this, then. Give up your life, or he shall be slain for your sins, even for your sin against me and my child.
Fame, fame. Many a worthless man before this one have you set on high. Those whose fame comes from true worth I am happy to count, but in these lies you tell I see no wisdom, only luck which has smiled on you. General of the hand-picked men of Greece, did you, petty man, take Troy from Priam? Who follows your childish daughter's words, spoken with such fury, and brings a poor luckless bondswoman? Troy I consider shamed by your touch, and you I think unworthy of Troy. Men who seem wise put on a good show on the outside, but inside it's money that counts. This is their great strength. Menelaus, let's think this thing through together. If your daughter kills me and leaves me dead, the stain of it shall curse her forever. And in men's eyes you too will share this guilt, and your part in her deed shall weigh you down. But if I escape and live, will you then slay my son? Do you think that his father shall consider his death some trifle? His feats at Troy show that he's no such man. No, he'll follow duty's call, proving himself worthy of Peleus and Achilles, and force your child from the house. Where will you find her a new husband? Will you say, this pure thing ran away from her wicked master? That would be the lie. Who would marry such a woman? Instead, she will be kept in your great halls, a gray-haired widow. Oh, wretched man, don't you see the flood of evil bursting over you? How many marital woes would you prefer your daughter to know instead of the evils that I have named? For such slight harms we ought not court disaster. No, if we women are such a baleful curse, then men should make themselves womanlike. For if I use witchcraft on your child and seal her womb with magic potions, as she tells it, then I will face the penalty willingly, without holding back or crouching low at altars, and deliver myself to my Lord's hands, to whom I would be no less guilty in cursing him with childlessness. On this I stand. But there is one thing in your nature that I fear. For it was also in a woman's quarrel that you laid waste to the Phrygians' luckless city.
You have said too much of woman against man, and the prudence of your heart has missed the mark.
Woman, these little things are unworthy of my kinship, as you have said, and of Greece. But know this, when one has his heart set on something, taking it means more than taking Troy. I defend my daughter, for I consider it no small thing to take away what is rightly hers by marriage. This is the worst that a wife can suffer. In losing her man, she loses her life. Her lord may command my slaves, and I his, for all those needful things that friends have are held in common. None is private. While he is gone, if I don't keep order among my own possessions, then I am weak and not wise. But I will make you rise up from this temple of the goddess. For if you die, the boy lives. But if you will not die, I will kill him. One of you two must say farewell to life.
Poor me. Doom is my lot. Bitter is the choice of life which you dealt me. If I take your offer, then I have misery for my hand. If not, I will lose all. To you who would do a great evil for a petty one, I say this. Why kill me? For what crime? Which child of yours have I slain? What house have I burned down? By force I laid with my lord, and you will slay me and not him. But you neglect the cause and bear away the last issue of the womb. Oh, the sorrow of it all. Oh, sorry land of my ancestors, terrible is my plight. I saw Hector dragged behind those wheels to his death, saw Ilium piteously aflame. Why must I be a mother, and therefore twice the burden to my lord? I was a slave when I boarded the ships of Argos, pulled aboard by the hair. And when I came to Phthia, I became the bride of Hector's killer. What joy will Zeus bring me? What is there for me to look forward to? What I have now, or else look to what I left behind. This one child I still have is the apple of my eye. Yet you, believing this to be righteousness, will slay him. Certainly not, if my worn-out life can save him. So there is hope still if he lives, and dishonor for me unless I die for my child. Now I leave the altar, yours, to cut, slaughter, terrorize, strangle. Oh, child, to save your life, your mother shall go down to Hades. If you survive, have a thought for me how I suffered and died. Go to your father, and with kisses and tears and little arms around his neck, tell how I fared. To all mankind I say that children are the essence of life. He who from inexperience faults us parents has less pain, but more misfortune than happiness.
I hear cries of sorrow, pitiful as sorrow to all, even from strangers. Menelaus, you should reconcile her and your child, and put an end to her pain.
Andromache leaves the altar and goes to her son.
Seize this woman! Grab her! Hold her, servants! She shall hear no words of friendship. I baited you from this holy altar with the threat of your child's murder, and now you've fallen into my hands for the slaughter. Know then that this is your fate. But for your son, my child shall decide whether to kill or not to kill. Back to the house with you, slave, so you will learn not to rail against the free.
Oh, no. You've tricked me, betrayed me.
So it is, I won't deny it.
Do you find wisdom in this, dwellers by the Euripides?
And for Trojans as well. It's the wronged who should have their revenge.
Do you think there's no gods above? No judgment day?
I'll deal with that in its own time. You I will kill.
And this nestling of mine torn from beneath my wing?
In fact, no. His death I give to my daughter's whim.
Ah, no. Surely I will cry out for you, my child.
Even so, little hope remains for him.
Blood-stained man, hated among men, Spartans, senators of deceit, lie kings, treachery weavers, crooked, impure, devious crime is your glory in Greece. Is there any evil that doesn't live with you? The most notorious killers, the shamelessly greedy, the convicted liars who say this with the mouth, but mean that with the heart. Oh, pity me. But to me death is not as pitiable as you think. For I died when Phrygia's helpless city was lost, as was my great lord, a man whose spear made sailors of your soldiers. Now, meet a woman terrible to behold. Prepare yourself for the killing. Kill. Never shall my tongue flatter you or your child. And what if you are a great man in Sparta, in Troy? I was great. Am I brought low? Don't brag about such things, for your time will come too.
Not praised by mortals will be twofold bedmates, nor sons of two men born by one mother. They fight in the home and bring the pain of hate. One love suits a man. He needs no other.
Never good is the land of twofold kings. One is a better arrangement. Trouble weighs on trouble. Sedition is the way. As there is discord when two lyres play, by the Muses' wise ordainment.
When the storm blast sets the sailors flying, shall two helmsmen steer the ship? Many wise counselors make life trying, while one ruler holds strength in his grip. So it is in the city, So it is at home, to those who can see it's fit.
So it is with the Laconian general, Menelaus' daughter. Her jealousy burns like fire. She yearns for the slaughter of the daughter of Troy and her boy. In her lust for vengeance, death is her solution. What evil you do, queen, shall bring you retribution.
Menelaus and servants enter from the palace, leading Andromache and Molossus in bondage.
I see this pair yoked together before the hall. The vote is cast, death is the call. Poor mother, poor son who dies for the bed of the mother. Nothing that he took part in, not guilty to us one another.
My hands with blood are dripping, from the slip knots gripping. Beneath the earth I go.
Mother, beneath your sheltering wing I'm quaking. I hide from death's taking, the two of us down below.
Death, Scythian born, call it slaughtering.
O Father, bring help to your loved offspring.
There, my son, my love, rest your head on my breast, and corpse against corpse we shall cling.
Oh, woe, what dread thing above you and I, mother, is looming.
Down to the grave you go, for you came from the towers of our hateful foe. The two of you, for two causes, death is your sentence for you to take on. This boy that I hold is doomed by my daughter Hermione. It would be foolish for us to withhold vengeance on the children of our hated enemies and to banish fear from the household.
Oh, husband, husband, for your hand to wipe away my tears, for your spear to defend me, son of Priam.
Misery is mine. What prayer is there to put doom to an end?
Beg at your master's knees, my young man.
O friend, pardon my sentence of death.
Tears fall from my eyes like water streaming from the mountain glen.
Oh no, is there no remedy to our life being put to an end?
Why prostrate yourself before me? You might as well ask a rock in the ocean to calm the sea. In truth, I am helpful to my fine company. No begging of yours makes my spirit unwell. Too much of my soul was spent for Troy. For her husband underworld sent, rejoice in this. When you go down to hell.
Look, I see Peleus approaching. His aged feet hurry him towards us.
Peleus enters with attendant.
You, captain of slaughter, what is all this? What is the reason for the sickness of this house? What doubtful machinations have you contrived? Menelaus, stop. Don't go where justice forbids. Lead on faster. It seems to me there's no time to lose. How I wish now for the strength I had in my youth. But first, I will breathe life into her like the breeze that billows the sails. By what right have they bound you and led you to your doom like lambs to the slaughter, while your true Lord and I are far away?
Know, Ancient One, that these are the ones that compel me and my son to our deaths, as you see. Why must I tell you? I'm sure you know the household strife of this man's daughter and the death it holds for me, and now they tear me from Thetis' altars. The goddess who bore your noble son, she whom you revere. They haul me off, condemned with no trial, without waiting for the absent Lord's homecoming, but knowing my weakness and that of my innocent son, who they would kill with me. Even so, I beg of you, wise old man, before your knees, for I cannot reach out to touch your beard, your dear kindly face. Save me by the gods, or I shall surely die in misery. And to your shame,
untie her. I command it, before someone sorry, and let loose her poor hands.
No, I forbid it. I rank as high as you and have more right of lordship in this matter.
How? Will you come to rule my household? Isn't your command of Sparta enough?
I took her captive from Troy.
But she was given to my grandson as war spoil.
My slaves are his and his mine. Is that not so?
But not for evil, certainly not for murder.
You shall never take her from my hand.
This staff will make your head bleed.
Touch me and you'll see what will happen. Come here.
Call yourself a man? You're a coward, bred from cowards. What part of you is true manhood? You, whose wife divorced you for a Phrygian. You left no one to guard the home. You kept at home a virtuous wife. Virtuous. Rather, the vilest. Despite your wishes, discretion is beyond the reach of the daughters of Sparta. They run abroad with young men from their homes and wrestle and race with them with bare thighs, clothes falling off, things intolerable to me. It's no wonder your women don't know chastity. This Helen might have asked of you, who left your home, left Zeus, the god of friendship, and went gaily forth with a handsome young man to a foreign land. Yet for her sake you gathered together the vast armada of Greeks, led them forth to Ilium. You should have thrust her forth and kept the spears at home, finding her vile, letting her go, yes, and even paid to keep her away. But the wind of your heart blew a different way. You wasted many a gallant life, made gray-haired mothers childless in their homes, robbed old men such as myself of their fine sons. I see in you the murderer of Achilles, a foul fiend. Only you unhurt among the soldiers returning from Troy, your beautiful weapons spotless in their beautiful sheaths, carried here and there and back. Before he was married, I warned my grandson not to befriend you, nor to take home the daughter of a wanton woman. They carry their mother's shame into a foreign land. Listen to my warning, young men, and choose the daughter of a good woman. But there's more. Your offense against your own brother in urging him to foolishly slay his daughter. So great was your fear of losing a bad wife. And you were there when Troy fell. You could have killed her then when she was trapped, but your sword fell when you saw her breast. Lust overtook you. You kissed and fondled her. Oh, foul man. Now you come to my son's house while he's away to tear it down and slay a poor woman and her son dishonorably. He'll make you and your daughter in there regret it, even if he's a triple bastard. The poor soil often surpasses the rich in yield, just as the bastard son may surpass the true born. Take your daughter away. Better to marry into the worthy but poor than the worthless rich, as you are.
Small things are turned into bitter feuds by the tongue, so wise men are wary of creating enmity with friends.
Why call old men wise? And when should those in Greece be called prudent? When you speak, Peleus, son of royalty, kin to me in marriage, the shame is yours. You chastise me for a foreign woman's sake. Yet you should chase her beyond the streams of Nile and beyond the Phasis and cheer me on. This continental woman, on whose shores fell sons of Hellas beyond measure. This woman, whose hand was in the death of your son Achilles, was Hector's wife. His brother Paris murdered your son. And you would pass beneath one roof with her, and break bread with her at the table. And in your house let her give birth to our bitterest enemies, who I'd take care to kill for our sakes, but she's torn away from my grasp. Let's think this through together. There's no disgrace in reasoning. If my child has no sons, then when this woman's offspring are grown, you will hold these up as lords of Phthia? Will these children of a barbarian mother rule Greeks? I am the fool, me who lives right, and you the wise. Think, if you had given your daughter's hand to a citizen and she were mistreated so, would you sit still? I think not. Yet you wail like this against friends and family for a foreigner. And you will claim that her case is as strong as his. The injustice he's done matches her foolishness in his halls. Yet in his household lies overpowering strength, while her case rests on children and friends. Isn't it right that I should help my own? Old man, you'd help me more by praising my leadership than by slandering me. God's will, not Helen's, brought her troubles, through which she bestowed a great gift to Greece. At first they were untrained in arms and the ways of battle, but the war made them brave. To fight side by side is the best teacher of manhood. And if I spared my wife's life on seeing her, it was a wise thing. It would have been better if you hadn't killed Phocus. But now I have met you in goodwill, not ranting. If you get angry, all you'll have is an aching tongue. My gain is in forethought.
Stop, both of you. It would be best if you did. Such wild words could lead you both to error.
Oh, what evil ways they have in Greece. When warriors raise their trophies over vanquished foes, credit goes not to those who toil at war. No, the captain steals away the glory. He raised his spear, one among 10,000, did the work of one man, no more, but has more praise. In proud authority's pomp, the old men sit and scorn the common folk, yet they are nothing. The people are 1,000 times wiser, if only wisdom were matched by audacity. And so you and your brother are kings, though you idled about in Troy, and your generalship rose high on the sweat and agony of others. Now I'll show you that Paris of Ida is nothing compared to having Peleus for a foe. Unless you vanish from this house straight away, you and your barren daughter, my grandson will drag her by the hair through these halls. This barren cow who can't stand those with children, seeing her own childlessness. If her womb is sealed off from childbearing, must the rest of my house remain childless? Get away from her, slaves, or let me see the man who will stop me from untying her wrists. Rise up. My old hands are trembling. Let me untie these twisted knots. Look, you fiend, you've cut her wrists. Did you think you were tying up a bull or a lion? Did you think she'd snatch a sword and chase you away? Come here, beneath my arms, young lad. Help untie your mother's bonds. I'll raise you up in Phthia, their bitter enemy. Take away the spear and the battle, and in all else these Spartans are the lowest of all mankind.
The race of old men is out of control. No one is safe from their wrathful mood.
Too quickly by far you rail against me. Since I have been constrained to come to Phthia, no unkindly thing shall I do here, nor endure. And now, seeing that my leisure's not without envy, homeward I'm bound, for not far from Sparta there lies a certain town, our friends in times past, now turned hostile. I'll go forth, leading my troops, and manhandle her into submission, and when I'm satisfied with the situation, I'll return and meet my son-in-law, and we'll have a good talk together. If he punishes her, then treats her mildly, mild he'll find me. But if he rages, he'll find me a match for his fury. Your words are of no account. You're like a creeping shadow in spite of your voice, powerless except to blather on.
Menelaus and attendants exit.
Go ahead, boy. Pass beneath my sheltering arms. And you, poor woman, out of the raging storm, you've come to a quiet haven.
Oh, honored sir, may the gods reward thee for saving my son and myself, the ill-fated. But take care, for on the lonely highway these men may fall on us and take me away by force, seeing you so old, me so weak, and the boy so young. Heed this warning, or slipping away now, we'll be captured anew.
Out with your fearful womanly speech. Go forth, who will stop you? Whoever does risks his own neck. By the grace of the gods, and with countless horses and armored men, I rule in Phthia. I still stand tall. I'm not as old as you think. I have merely to give such as him the eye, and he'll run away, in spite of my years. A stout-hearted old man is stronger than many youths. What good are handsome muscles to a coward?
Exit Peleus, Andromache, Molossus, and attendants.
Better unborn, unless born of a noble tribe and raised in the hallways of wealth. When troubles befall them, a host will then gather to champion the right of his side. There's honor for whom it is written is the son of a noble house. Time never washes away the story of heroic fathers. The torch fires burn unceasingly, proclaiming his glory.
Better unwon, victory born from disgrace, wrestled from the laws of mankind. To mortals at first it has a sweet taste, but withers in the march of time, and dishonor hangs over your house. No, my life's burden and joy is this: never lord it over the people, no injustice due to my spouse.
O gray-haired Aegean,
Now I know how your war spear flashed,
when Lapithians and centaurs clashed,
and you won renown among the company. Then, when the Argo crossed the cruel sea,
through the gates of the crashing rocks you passed,
victorious, whose seafaring voyage was more glorious. When the son of Zeus encompassed Troy in slaughter, there you returned to Europe, sharing the honor.
Hermione's nurse enters.
Oh, my dear women, how evil makes way for evil today. My queen Hermione is in this house, racked with guilt, abandoned by her father, knowing that for attempted murder of Andromache and the child, she is sentenced to die, fearing her husband will drive her shamefully from the house or kill her, she who would kill the innocent. When she was quite prepared to hang herself, her watchful servants saved her. When she clutched the sword in her hand, they wrested it away. Her anguish rages now that she sees that her sins have run their course. I'm worn out, dear ladies, with dragging her away from the noose. Come inside, save her from death. In times like these, newcomers will often prevail over familiar friends.
Now we hear the servants' cries from within the palace, confirming what you have told. Poor creature, she is likely to make proof of her remorse. See here, in her eagerness for death, she's escaped from her servants' hands.
Hermione enters.
Oh, woe! Oh, woe! With these sharp claws I'll tear my hair and wail. With these sharp talons I'll surely gash my cheek.
Oh, child, what shall you do? Spoil your beauty?
Alas, alas, and grieve. Off from my head, veil, float away on the breeze.
Child, cover your chest, pin up your robe.
Why should my breast be covered, when the crimes that I have dared against my lord are all uncovered?
Do you grieve for your plot to kill your rival?
For what I've dared, my tears are shed, accursed in the sight of men.
You'll be pardoned yet by your lord.
Why did you pull the sword out from my hand? My friend, give it back, give it back. Why did you take the rope off from my neck? That blade should plunge deep in my side.
And negligently let you die in such distress?
Oh, my fate! Where is the burning fire for a friend? Where is the dizzy mountain top to climb? Wherefrom to plunge into the sea, or crash into a forest glen? Dying, let the nether world receive me.
Why worry so? It so happens that destiny catches up with all mortals, sooner or later.
You left me, Father, all alone on this shore, like the stranded sailor hearing the splash of the oars the ships pull away. He'll kill me, kill me. To this house which held my bride chamber I shall come nevermore. To the feet of which god shall I crawl? Or at the slave's knees like a slave shall I fall? Oh, to be a Pythian raven with wings unfurled, or the skiff of pine which broke through the black rocks at the end of the world.
Oh, child, I did not approve of your ravings against the woman of Troy, for you were in the wrong. Nor do I approve of this dreadful panic that you have gotten yourself in. By no mere word of a barbarian woman will your husband disown you. You were no prize plucked from Troy, but a prince's daughter, with a handsome dowry from a city of gold. Your father has not forgotten you, as you fear. He won't let you be driven from the house. Come inside. Don't make a scene for all to see. It will only bring you shame, my child.
But wait, a man approaches, a foreigner by his appearance, marching quickly toward us.
Orestes enters.
Foreign ladies, are these the halls of the son of Achilles? Is this his royal palace?
As you say. And who is it who asks?
The son of Agamemnon and Clytemnestra. My name is Orestes. I'm going to Zeus's oracle at Dodonia. As I've come to Phthia, I should inquire about my cousin, if she's alive, how it goes with her, Hermione of Sparta. Even though she lives far from us, she is in our hearts.
Oh, safe harbor to this storm-tossed sailor! Son of Agamemnon, I beg you, at your knees, have pity for me, who you inquired of. I'm not well. With arms binding as any suppliant wreaths, I clasp your knees.
Oh, what's this? Do my eyes deceive me, or is this really Menelaus's daughter, queen of this house?
Yes, Tyndaris' daughter, here, born to Helen in my father's halls, doubt it not.
O healer Phoebus, deliver us from pain. What illness is this? Is it gods or mortals who sicken you so?
In part, myself, in part, my lord. And some god afflicts me. Ruin is everywhere.
What could possibly trouble a wife with no children? Perhaps the bridal bed.
That's what plagues me. You understand well.
Who does your lord favor instead of you?
That prisoner, Hector's wife.
It's bad when a man has 2 wives.
So it was, and I fought against it.
Did you plot against her, as women do?
Death for her and her bastard child.
You killed them? Or did circumstances prevent it?
Old Peleus, always honoring riffraff.
No one else took part in this murderous plot?
My father, who came from Sparta for this.
What then? Did the old man get the best of him?
He respects him, and left me stranded.
So I see. You've reason to fear your lord.
He knows that for him to kill me would be justice. How can I plead? But I beg of you, by Zeus, the god of kinfolk, help me flee as far from this land as possible, or to the hall of my father. These very halls seem to shout myself away. Phthia hates me. Should my lord return from Apollo's oracle before I flee, in shame shall I be killed, or be a slave within that bastard spawning bedchamber where once I reigned. You may ask, how was it that you fell so low? It was the vile women who ruined me, saying, "You're going to let that rotten slave share your master's bed within your own household." By Hera, I swear that in these very halls I would take from her the last rays of light on the day she reaped the harvest of my bed. And therefore I listened to these sirens' words, all those sly, cunning, crafty chatterboxes, and let them puff me up with my own conceit. Why then did I spy upon my lord? I had all that I needed. Riches, more than enough. I was queen in his palace. My children would be true born, but hers, bastards and half slave to mine. But never, never, twice I say it, should a wise man, having a wife, allow other women to visit her in their home. They are the teachers of iniquity. One tempts sin for her own reason, another, having sinned, seeks the fellowship of shame, and many tempt by their licentious natures. And so the house is poisoned. So bolt and guard your doors, for no good comes along with strange women, but troubles multiplied.
You're letting your tongue run freely against your sisters. It could almost be forgiven. But when women deal likewise with women's weakness, gentleness should prevail.
Wise were the lessons of the man who first taught that in argument. Listen to the reasoning of the other man. I know the confusion here in this house, and the struggle between you and Hector's wife. I watched and waited to see if you would remain here, or, out of fear of that spoil of war, flee from her. No letters of yours brought me, but the chance to speak with you, as we do here, to help you from this house. Once you were mine, but now you live with this man through the sins of your father, who before he marched to the headlands of Troy, promised you to me, but then promised you to another for the sack of the city. As soon as the son of Achilles returned to his homeland, I forgave your father's part and tried to turn his thoughts to set you free. Spoke of my misfortune and the familial spirits haunting me, how I might wed from among friends, but scarcely from strangers, knowing why I am banished from my home. Then he insolently rebuked me with my blood-stained mother and the gore-dripping demons. For me, my pride fell with the fortunes of my house. I grieved, yea, grieved, yet endured, and departed in regret, without your love. And now fortune's lot has changed for you. Now you are in this crisis with despair. So from this house I will lead you and give you to your father, for kinship holds strange power, and in troubled times nothing is better than the love from home.
It is my marriage that my father will think of. The decision lies with him, not me. But let us depart with all speed from this house, before my husband returns home and prevents it. Peleus may learn of my flight from his son's house, and send swift horsemen after us.
Have no fear of the old man's hand, and don't be afraid of the son of Achilles. He overbrims with hubris. Such is the snare which I've cunningly laid for him, immovable, murderous, laying in wait for his step. The rock of Delphi will come to know my plans. They shall not be revealed beforehand. If my Pythian spear friend's oaths stand true, I, the matricide, shall teach the man not to marry a bride who is mine by rights. His demand to Lord Apollo to avenge his blood-stained father will then prove costly, for the gods shall, in punishment, remove for him the means of knowing. By the gods' will and my accusations, he shall die a painful death and learn the wrath of the god. Wrath overturns the fortune of the proud by the will of the spirits.
Orestes and Hermione exit.
O Phoebus, who guarded Ilium with well-built walls, and you, lord of the deep ocean, riding your dark, horse-drawn Pelagian chariot, why did you dishonor your handiwork, putting to Ares, the spearmaster's hand? Wretched, wretched Troy.
Many were the chariots drawn by fine horses harnessed along the headlands of the Simios, as were the blood-filled clashes of soldiers, no garlands there for the victors. Troy's kings have faded like shadows, no fires burn on her altars. Sweet-smelling smoke no man offers.
Gone is Atreus' son by his wife's hands. She received death in turn at the hands of her children, an exchange for murder. Behold, God's prophetic will has come about when the son of Agamemnon, born from Argos, supplicates at the Holy of Holies with his mother's blood on his hands. O Spirit, O Phoebus, how can this be?
In the agoras of the Greeks were many wives who sang the sad song of lost husbands, and then left her home behind for another man's bed. Not on you alone or your kin has misfortune fallen. Hellas has fallen ill, and on to the fertile fields of Phrygia it strolled, leaving its deadly sickness.
Peleus enters.
Women of Phthia, answer me this. I hear word, though uncertain, that Menelaus' daughter has gone, left the house, and I have hastened here to learn the truth of it. So it is with friends far from home. The stay-at-home must be mindful of their acts.
Peleus, the rumor you hear is true. It is not right for me to conceal the bad tidings I happen to find. The queen has taken flight from the house.
What fear did she happen upon? Finish your story.
She trembles at the thought that her husband will cast her out from the house.
Since killing the boy was her plan.
Yes, and also the slave woman was terrified.
Did she leave home with her father? Who was it?
Agamemnon's son led her away from this land.
With what hoped-for end? To marry her?
Just so, and to plot the death of your grandson.
Crouched down in hiding, or met in open combat?
at the holy shrine of Loxias with the Delphians.
No, this is terrible. Send someone on their way, quickly, to the Pythian altar, to tell of what has come to pass here, to our friends, before the son of Achilles is killed by his enemies.
The messenger enters.
Alas, alas, what foul news I bear, stout-hearted messenger that I am, to you, my old and beloved leader.
No, my foresight holds a bad expectation.
My news, old Peleus, is this. Your grandson is dead by the sword thrusts of the men of Delphi and the foreign man from Mycenae.
I am done for, destroyed. My speech has fled, and my joints have lost their cunning.
Listen, if you want to defend yourself and your loved ones, attend and hold yourself upright.
Oh, destiny, I stand at the utter terminus of old age, encompassed by sadness. But how did the only son of my only son die? I'll hear it, even though it's beyond hearing.
Since we came to Phoebus' famed land, 3 circles did the sun make in his path, and we grazed our animals to their fill. And the people of the land of the god grew suspicious and withdrew into circles. Agamemnon's son went through the town, bending the ear of the townsmen with these ill-willed words. See this man who goes through the god's gold-filled storehouse, its hollow spaces filled with the treasures of men? He comes a second time for the same purpose, to steal from Phoebus' innermost sanctum as before. Out from the crowd came a roar of an angry people. And so the authorities rushed to the council chamber. Those whose care was the god's property posted guards in the colonnade. For my part, we took our yearling sheep from leafy Parnassus, and knowing nothing of this, went onwards and stood at the altars, with the council's holy men of Delphi. They said, Young man, of what from the god shall we earnestly pray for you? Why have you graced us with your presence? And he said, To hand over to Phoebus justice for my sins. It was justice I had demanded for the bloodshed of my father. Thus it was that Orestes' story carried great strength, that my master brought lies and shame. He came over to the foundation of the temple, the seat of the god, so that before the shrine he might give prayer to Phoebus, being by happenstance where burnt offerings are made. But there were armed men in wait for him, cunningly hidden beneath the sweet bay tree, and it was the son of Clytemnestra behind these many machinations. So he stood to make offering to the god, but they, with their sharp-pointed swords, stabbed the unarmored son of Achilles from their hiding place. He gave way, no vital part had been struck, drew his sword, and took from the temple wall some votive armor hanging there, mounted the altar, the warrior's visage terrible to behold, and shouted to the sons of Delphi, Why try to kill me when I have journeyed in righteousness? For what reason is my life to end? Even though a host stood nearby, none of his attackers spoke, but pelted him with stones. They pounded him dense as hail from all sides. He defended himself with his armor, and held out his shield, first on this side, now on that, then back again. The attackers' weapons, one and the same, fell at his feet. Arrows, javelins, light throwing javelins, spits for sacrificing victims. They had made no progress. But then they encircled him, leaving him no breathing room. So he left the sheep-accepting altar, and with the leap, famed from Troy, fell upon them. They, like pigeons set upon by a hawk, turned their backs and fled. Many fell at the narrow gateway, some from his sword, others crushed against one another. Within those holy walls a foreboding cry arose, and crashed against the rocky cliffs. My master stood in the tranquility which somehow befell them, his shield shining brightly, when from the adyton of the temple in the middle came a terrible sound, trembling, urged on the soldiers to turn their minds to bold deeds. So it was that Achilles' son fell, struck in the ribs by a sharp sword. A Delphinian man made an end of him, but it cost the lives of many others. When he fell to the ground, who among them did not add blows and wounds? With rocks and swords they destroyed his handsome form. They took his corpse, which lay before the altar, and hurled it from the incense-perfumed temple. For my part, we snatched him up, conveyed him back here so you may mourn for him, old sir, and arrange his burial. And so has the Lord who foretells the future, who metes out justice for mankind, treated the son of Achilles when he came to right his wrongs like a bad man. How he remembers a wrong done long ago. How can he be called wise?
A processional group enters, carrying the body of Neoptolemus wrapped in its burial shroud.
Now, see truly our Lord carried in procession home from Delphi. He was unfortunate, as you are, old man. To receive home Achilles' scion this way wasn't what you wished, and you share his sorry fate.
Oh me, what a catastrophe do I see and must receive into my house. Oh my, alas, alas, O city of Thessaly, how your memory is blotted out. It's the end now. No offspring, no children of mine are left at home. What wretchedness has befallen me? What friend can I turn to console my suffering? O face I loved, O hands, O knees, would that some god had taken your life before Ilium by the banks of the Simios.
This would have been an honor, old man, to die so, and your life would have been more fortunate.
Oh marriage, home and city of mine, they're ruined, ruined for now and all time. O child, what choices you make. An ill-starred union with Hermione, bad fate. We enjoined that marriage, but death was our lot. Far better to end by the lightning bolt's shot. If only you, merely a mortal, had not accused Phoebus, immortal, of killing your Zeus-born father with the murderous arrows of the god.
Oh no, 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 no! I sing my song for my master, a song reserved for the dead.
Oh no, 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 no! Now I, the old man, unhappy, luckless, I sing what I can.
It was a god who cast this lot. It was a god who brought these events together.
Oh, beloved, you've left. The house is no home. Alas, alas, misery is mine. My children have been taken. I'm left old and alone.
To die, old man, before your children would have been right.
Should I tear my hair out in my anguished throes? Should I strike my head with many deadly blows? O city, my two children, Phoebus taken, woes.
Oh, sorry, pathetic old man, much misfortune have you seen. What does the future hold for you?
No children, no help, alone to death's knell. I'll drink bitter dregs till I go down to hell.
The gods' blessings on your marriage were in vain.
All these good things have flown far away. My high-flying boasts could not make them stay.
You live all alone in a house turned upside down.
I am no more. Oh, woe! Oh, town! This scepter, be gone! I here cast you down! And you, Nereid girl, in your dark cave, will see me destroyed, thrown down to my grave.
Oh, what is this motion? Look, women, see, what God up above? What do I perceive? A spirit is riding the bright shining sky. Over Phthyia's beautiful land does she fly, on land wherein fine steeds are given their birth, the gods now alighting down onto the earth.
Helios from the grace of our former marriage. Helios from the grace of our former marriage. I, Thetis, have left the house of Nereus to come to this place. First, to put into your thoughts this advice. Do not be too downcast with your lot. For even I, who should bear children unlamented, God is that I am. Fathered by a God. Taken from me was your son. The swift-footed Achilles. Born to be first among Hellenes. So listen and hear why I have come. Take the body of Achilles' son. Carry him to burial in front of the Pythian altar. As insult to the Dacians, so that his grave will stand in testimony that he was brutally killed by Orestes' hand. As to the captive woman, Andromache she is called. Send her to dwell in the land of the Molossians. Made her to Hellenes. Bed him. Her son too must leave. The last of the line of Euripides. It is fated that his sons will be kings from one down to another. Kings that will reign over Molossia in wisdom and prosperity. For it is not to be that our lineage should be overthrown. Nor that of Troy. Though it may now seem so old man. For she is in the care of the gods. Even though she fell by Pallas's will. For you, who have known grace in my bed. I shall deliver you from the walls of mortality and make you immortal. I shall deliver you from the woes of mortality and make you immortal, free of decay. I will make you a god. Then we shall dwell in the house of Nereus. God and goddess together for all time. God and goddess together for all time. Dance. As you make the festive procession dry-footed from the sea.
As you make the festive procession dry-footed from the sea.
You will find your son in my Achilles.
You will find your son in my Achilles.
Gaze on his island home.
Gaze on his island home, abiding there at Luke.
At the inhospitable strait.
At the inhospitable strait.
But go to Delphi.
But go to Delphi.
That God built cities.
That God built cities.
Carry there the body of this man.
Carry there the body of this man.
Bury him in the deep earth.
Bury him in the deep earth.
Go to the ancient Hogsback Hollow Rock.
Go to the ancient Hogsback Hollow Rock.
To
the cave called Sapius and sit.
Wait there until I come from the sea with the chorus of 50 Nereids.
Wait there until I come from the sea with a chorus of 50 Nereids to go with you.
For all these things are faded.
For all these things are faded.
It is the will of Zeus.
It is the will of Zeus.
Make an end to your grief.
Make an end to your grief.
Death is the limit for all men before God.
Death is the limit for all men before God.
This is the judgment.
This is the judgment.
This is the vote.
This is the vote.
The debt they must
The
pay.
debt they must pay.
Oh, great woman! Oh, noble lady, bedmate, daughter of Nereus, goodbye. In all things you were worthy, and in all these things were your children as well. I will make an end to lamentation at your command, goddess, and honor him with funeral rites. Then I shall go to the glen of Pelion, where I took your beautiful form in my arms. Should not a man take a wife from desirable lineage and give his daughter to a good family? If he has sense, he'll avoid a bad marriage, even if she's desirable and carries a rich dowry to the house. The gods never exact punishment from them.
The gods above are many-formed.
The unforeseen they bring to pass.
The dream we have, they leave forlorn.
The needful hope God brings at last.
So is the end of the story.